What's going on, turd nuggets? Welcome back to Josh's Advice Corner, episode 3. I'm back with giving some more life advice. Maybe the worst life advice you'll ever get, but it's life advice nonetheless. Let's jump into the first question of the day. My boyfriend, 22, spiked my drink the other night. Woof, okay, let's read on. I'm full aware that I may be overreacting a little, but some outside opinions would help ease my mind a little. You are not overreacting. Doesn't matter if you're a significant other or not. Do not have them spike your drink. Do not let them spike your. That would have been caused. That is a red flag. That is a leavable offense. Okay, let's just read on. So my boyfriend and I have been together for about 2 years now, and currently share an apartment in our college town. I don't drink, I don't have a reason or anything. He's never acquired a taste for alcohol. I'll take a sip of my boyfriend's or friend's drinks just to try it every now and then, but I usually don't like it. I go to bars with friends and hang out with them all the time. I usually have just a soda or water and offer to drive if need be. Okay. Sounds like a reasonable human being already. My boyfriend was a little stressed the other day since he had to work during Black Friday. So he was tired when he came home. We were watching something on Netflix when he gets up and says he's going to make himself a drink. He offered to do it. I offered to do it for him, but he said, no, don't worry about it. I'll bring you a water. So he comes back with this drink in a flavored water for me. And when I sipped it, something tasted off about it. I only took a few sips before I was put it on the coffee table and ignored it. I asked why. He asked me why I wasn't drinking it, which was kind of strange question for me. Red flag, super red flag. I told him it tasted a little off and maybe I bought a bad case or something. He immediately seems to get frustrated and tells me to just drink it so he doesn't go to waste. Push comes to shove, and turns out he put vodka in my water. When I asked him why he would do that, without telling me, he said it was a fantasy of his to have a drunken sex with me, and it was getting ridiculous that I wouldn't get drunk so I could do that. He has never communicated this to me before. I have no idea. I dumped my drink in the sink, and he was angry at me. There's a super duper red flag here. Super duper red flag for wasting the alcohol. Now I'm scared he put something in my drink without my knowledge, and that scared me. I'm not sure what to do. I think you should leave this person. It is a huge red flag that this man has put alcohol in you, knowing you do not drink. That I don't drink anymore. I don't, because I had a problem a little bit, so I quit drinking, and people were always trying to offer me booze and stuff. Like, no, I'm not that kind of person anymore. So, I think you should honestly leave this person, but there's an edit here. There's an edit here to see what she's really thinking. Let's read the edit. I'm realizing that, in fact, underreacting. You guys are... I can't seem to stop thinking this is a few days after the fact, so it must mean something. I'm currently packing a bag before I head off to class in an hour. Okay, so she got out. Thank you. I'm glad she got out, because that is a super red flag. Let's jump into the... This one's a doozy. This one I had to read you guys, because I had to. The guy I'm dating has herpes, and we had unprotected sex. Fuck my life. Let's read this story. Throwaway account just because I'm not ashamed. Sorry if it's a little long. Okay. Basically, I've been dating this guy and we spontaneously decided to have sex in my house. I don't have condoms at my house since I am a female and don't really get that much action. LOL. And he didn't really plan on having sex, but it happened. After we finished, he broke down and told me he had genital herpes for years. And he is too afraid to tell me because of the stigma around it. And that he does take meds for it. But anyways, I lost my shit and went off. That is reasonable. If you guys just had unprotected sex and he never told you that he had genital herpes. That is a That's a reasonable reaction to a man telling you he has genital herpes after you just had unprotected sex with him. That's totally understandable. I would do the same thing. I know I'm not helping the stigma, but I needed him to know that it was selfish. Very, very selfish. Very selfish. And because I care about him, but the fact that he kept it from me fucking sucks. Sometimes your partners keep things from you. Sometimes it's the worst things possible. Sometimes it's stuff to better you as a human being. But in this case, you don't want herpes. And I don't want you to get herpes. I know I should have used protection, but like most young adults, I wasn't thinking. Going to get tested tomorrow and see what happens. Hopefully I don't have herpes. Otherwise, I guess I'm fucked. LOL. But the main question is, should I still talk to him despite everything? Okay. That's going to take some time to heal, okay? You don't just get the bomb dropped on you that, your partner has herpes and he never told you. That's a problem. And if you really like the guy, you can get past the fact that he kept this debilitating illness from you. Not debilitating illness, but if he kept this STD from you without telling you, then go for it. But if you can't, just walk on out, because I wouldn't let anybody keep an STD from me. Or better yet, keep it away from me, but, tell me in other words. Alright, this one is a little bit weird, but some people do struggle with this situation, and I'm not putting people down for that, because your significant other can hide things from you. So let's jump into this one. Struggling with my girlfriend's past. How can I get past it? My girlfriend and I have been together for over a year now, and are packing up for her to move in with me in 2 weeks. She's wonderful, kind, enthusiastic, and loving. I love her immensely. That's a positive here. We started dating. We had the usual conversation of the number. I'm somewhat inexperienced with her marking number 5, and she had me as 6. Great. I thought we're pretty close, which is to not have to worry about keeping up with her experiences. As time went on, she went on to describe things she had done in the past, multiple threesomes, sex in public, in front of two-way mirrors for people to watch. Your girlfriend's a freak, my guy. Which can be a positive in your relationship, or it can be a negative. I'm hoping it goes positive for you, but let's continue reading. And several other things. The latter, in particular, was difficult for me because I kept visualizing on an extremely graphic way and couldn't stop thinking. That is your mind playing tricks on you. Do not do that. Do not think of things that way. It's something that's a usual problem, and it can be damaging for a relationship, but just keep going. Sometime later, when we were chatting about something else, the number came up again, but this time it was higher. My eyebrows raised. I asked about it, and she said she honestly doesn't really know, and what counts towards the number anyway. I've been the kind of person who only has sex with someone I'm emotionally into. That's kind of like me. I've become that. I was not like that before, but I've personally become that now. I've been the type of person that, I acknowledge that, and most people aren't that way. I know most people are the casual sex, and even though it's not my jam, I'm okay with it. Recently, I've been extremely anxious from not being able to stop reminiscing about some of the experiences she mentioned. I recently found the term retroactive jealousy OCD, and the term fits me to a T. She's been aware of my anxiety and offered to share as much as little as She offers to share as much as little to help. She do anything or which is something I really do appreciate, as it's pretty difficult to share things that openly. Okay, so if you I've heard of this term before, retroactive jealousy OCD. It does happen when your partner shares a little bit too much and you start thinking about certain things. It does happen to some people. I've never been that kind of person, so I really don't know how it affects you. But if you guys are good together and you guys work at things out together, I mean, just let it go. I mean, not let it go, but just try to keep it in the back burner. You guys are having a great relationship. You guys are moving in together. It all goes downhill from there when you move in together, but, just keep it going. Just keep it going. Let's jump into the... Alright, boys and girls, this one is a punchable offense. Seriously. We're gonna engage in fisticuffs if you do this. Let's read the story, folks. My coworker is telling everyone at my job that I, 22-year-old, have been flirting with an underage coworker. It happens, but it's thoroughly punchable. Let's continue reading. I work as a bartender in an arcade-like place, so other than management, I am the only oldest employee. Despite most of my coworkers being under the age of 18, I have plenty good relationship with all of them. And there's one coworker who we'll name Josh I talk to the most. Him and I have the most in common, aka we're both the only black people in a very white area. Sometimes that brings us together. Therefore, we have a lot to talk about. If we're slow or if he's on break, we'll just sit down and watch TV and we'll shoot the shit. I do this with any coworker who comes by to talk. Another coworker, Austin, does have autism and sometimes confuses situations. For an example, I once rested my hand on my collarbone while he was talking to me and assumed I was angry at him. He's nice, but seems to think that me and Josh are flirty because of how we talk to each other. Keep in mind, I refuse to hang out with Josh outside of work. Austin has started telling everyone that Josh and I are flirty and remind me often that Josh is under 18. Despite me telling him several times that Josh and I are just having a conversation, he will joke about it with other coworkers, and eventually a manager approached me and asked if there was anything inappropriate happening and reminded me yet again that Josh is only 17 and fraternizing is against company policy. They have the most part to drop the issue, but I feel like things are weird now. I don't even want to talk to anyone now, because I'm afraid they're just going to assume I'm flirting with underage kids. Sometimes it's best just not to talk to any of your coworkers. I mean, sometimes if you're in a situation like this, and you have a coworker who has autism and doesn't fully understand certain situations, I would avoid showing evidence of those situations. I would avoid talking to Josh, but talk to Josh in another situation. If you really want to talk to him because you guys are, you guys have the black bond. The black bond. That's what I'm going to call it now. We're going to just call it the black bond. Just, talk to him away from the other guy. Or, it's okay to, some people get bored. Just talk to your coworkers. But sometimes it's best not to talk to your coworkers in certain situations. Let's jump into the next. This is our last question story of the day, and it's a little strange. I haven't fully read it yet, but the title makes me a little concerned and worried for this person's mental well-being. My fiance has recently started following her rapist on social media. Let's read on. Okay, let's read on, guys. So a couple years ago, before my fiance and I started dating, she went over to hang out with a male acquaintance at college, and she was drugged and raped at knife point. After it happened, she was too scared to go to the police, so he was never charged. Instead, she blocked him on all social media and started to cope quietly on her own. Years later, when we started dating, she told me it was first and foremost absolutely broke my heart that someone could treat this amazing person that way. It's really horrible. Rape is horrible. Let's just be real about that. It's a horrible action done by horrible people who, if I was in charge of the penal system, I would have them chemically and physically castrated. But that's just me. Let's continue. But honestly, she seems so mentally tough and strong, and she said she still hates the guy with every fiber of her being, which is understandable. But she doesn't really think it's worth living in the past and continuing to be upset about it. And an entire time we've been dating and engaged, I've only seen her get slight PTSD on one occasion. So awful as it is, she has somehow not let it affect her life too much. Recently I was on Instagram and noticed this guy popped up as a suggestion for me to follow. That my fiance was one of the mutual people following him. I went to his page and saw that they both follow each other, so she must have not only unblocked him, but followed him too. I went through all of her recent pictures, and he has liked most of her recent pictures. Okay, I'm a little concerned about this story now. I don't know if I should confront her or not. I know I could never understand what she went through, and it is her decision on whether she wants to still keep him shut off or she still wants to let him follow her on social media. But to me, it's a little weird that she would want him to be able to follow her and vice versa. I don't know, maybe she's all of a sudden wants to talk to him to help her grieving process and get closure, but if she is, I would really want to know about it so that I can make sure she's doing it safe. Person, man, sir, I'm a little concerned about your significant other's mental state. If she's following her rapist on social media, I'm truly worried about your significant other. Truly worried. And I think that you and her should have a sit-down conversation and talk about this situation that she has put herself in. Maybe it's to get closure, or maybe she's trying to make sure he doesn't do the same thing to her. But I'm honestly worried and concerned. So if you can give me an update, that'd be great. I would love an update to this story, because I really need to know what happened. I need to know that she's safe and okay. You guys are safe and okay. Alright. I'll catch you guys later with some more Josh's Advice Corner. I'm sorry that this video is late. This one episode is late. Very late. But, I've been working on other things, and I'm trying to get these at least every 2 weeks. I'm trying to get these out every 2 weeks. But let's see if that works out. Alright, guys. Catch you later, Turtle.